Sound check, checking the sound. Thank you. The audio will resume when the service begins. Shabbat shalom, everyone. Almost, but not quite. Shabbat shalom, everyone. Yay, thanks. You know, when Rabbi Nagel's out, we got to bring a little bit of that Rabbi Nagel energy to the room. My name is Cantor Beck Berman, and joining me this evening on the bima is immediate past president of our congregation, Lee Katz, as well as our music director, Natan Berenstein, at the piano. Rabbi Nagel is at home with family celebrating the graduation of his middle son from high school. Amazing. Here we go. And so we're all thinking of them and wishing them well. What a great reason for him to be gone. So I will pick up the reins. And in tonight's service, we will be using Mishkan Tefillah, a Reformed Siddur for Shabbat. It is Hebrew style, so the book reads from right to left, but on each page of the book, you'll see Hebrew, you'll see transliteration of the Hebrew into English characters, as well as translation of the Hebrew into English, and much of the book is in a two-page layout, where that's on the right-hand page, and the left-hand page has alternative readings and poems on the theme of that prayer. So I encourage everyone to read along and sing along, however is comfortable and meaningful for you during our service this evening. We will begin on page 24 with Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Ruachem Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Shabbat Shalom one more time as we turn back in our prayer books to page 2 and we prepare to bring Shabbat into our midst by lighting candles and saying Kiddush. First, we light the candles and then we'll say the blessing together. Together on page 2. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. And as we turn to page 5 for Kiddush, I invite all of you to join me as we sing together our prayer for wine or grape juice, which in Judaism is the symbol of our great joy, in this case that it's Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lemaseh v'reshit ki hu yom tefillah lemikra'ei kodesh zecher litziat Mitzrayim ki banu v'acharta v'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat. Amen. L'chaim. And now that we've invited Shabbat into our midst, we turn together to page 28 in our Sidurim, and rise for our call to worship as one community, the Baruch Hu. We turn to page 31 for our prayer for the evening. And before we say our prayer, I ask my customary question: what phase is the moon in? Anybody know? Anybody? It is a waxing crescent moon this evening. The new moon was just during this past week, so it's not halfway full yet, which means it's waxing, it's getting bigger, and it's still a crescent. And we think about the phase of the moon because it's connected to our Jewish calendar, but also because the moon and all of the works of creation visible at night are part of our blessing for the evening, which we read together at the top of page 31. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. We continue and remain standing for Shema on page 34. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God. Adonai is one. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod, Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Echad. Please be seated. We continue with V'ahavta on page 36. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol meodecha v'hayu ha'devarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom alevavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם emet. We continue on page 41. Page 41, we read together. Sing the song of men and women joined in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles and earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come, the song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more, the song of a world redeemed, the song of peace. We continue with Micha Mocha, our song of freedom and redemption, on page 40. אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד החזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל. We continue in our service on page 44. Page 44 at the bottom of the page as we celebrate, key words, celebrate Shabbat with Yismechu. We continue in our service with our central prayer, the Amidah or Tefillah, which begins on page 46 and continues across the next several pages after that. But we begin together on page 46. Please rise. Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor veHanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, Bezocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei Vneihem, Lema'an Shemo B'Ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai, Mechayei Hakol Atah Rav Lehoshia, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיה הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומדומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה על החיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. Please be seated. We continue on page 55. Page 55, at the top of the page, we read together, "May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat." Amen. We continue with our silent reflections using either the words on the following pages or the words in our hearts. We continue with our prayer for peace, Ose Shalom, on the bottom of page 62. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. At this time in our service, we think of those people who are in need of healing. And so as we turn to our Shabbat programs for our Mishaberach prayer for healing, Beth Ahabah is thinking this week of John Phillipson, Leo Bezanson, Arnold Strolson, Eden Katzenbaum, Richard Balderston, Bob Marks, Seth Ginther, Charles LeBeau, Neil Gleiberman, Jeffrey Teeger, Rivka Kogan, Colton Richard Schultz-Boyd, David Tallheimer, Doug Heidman, Randall Markham Berman, Andrea Bardenett Beam, Lorraine Badofsky, Kathy Marks, Audrey Landers, Alan Arkava, Anita Leibowitz, Alyssa Freeman, Matthew Deinhardt, Hal Kalish, Shayna Hannah Silver, David Butler, Rebecca Eichelbaum, Iris Martez, Vernon Baker, Kyle Guzik, Christine Lopez, Irv Kleinman, Sarah Frida Babela, Arlene Silver Shafton, Fran Bradford, Benedetto Bertini, Katie Fox, and Rena Berlin. So as we're thinking about all these people who are in need of healing, I ask those of us here and those of us watching on our beautiful YouTube channel to take a moment and either share names of people in need of healing out loud or hold them in your hearts as I scan the room. We're thinking of all these people and all of those in our world in need of healing as we turn to our Shabbat programs for Mishaberach, our prayer for healing. Mishaberach Avoteinu, Avraham, Yitzchak, veYaakov. Mishaberach Imoteinu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, and Rachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Mishaberach Avoteinu, Mishaberach Imoteinu, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Amen. And now for a brief word about this week's Torah portion. This week's Torah portion is the first portion in the book of Numbers, which in Hebrew is called Bamidbar, literally meaning in the wilderness. It is called Bamidbar because that is the first unique word or phrase found in the portion and the book. It's the first portion of the book. And the reason that the English name of the book is Numbers is because there are a few instances of census taking, the first of which is at the very beginning of the book of Numbers in this very Torah portion. God tells Moses to take a census of all the Israelites who are able to fight over age 20 and list their names, clan by clan and tribe by tribe. Then each tribe is listed with a named prince or head of tribe. A count follows for each tribe, except for that of Levi, which is assigned to other duties, non-military duties, that pertain to the Mishkan, the tabernacle, that temple that they built in the wilderness that you could take apart and then put back together. And those duties are described later in the portion. So everybody's got a job. Then God tells Moses and Aaron that, quote, from Numbers chapter 2, verse 2, the Israelites shall camp, each man with his standard, under the banners of their ancestral house. They shall camp around the tent of meeting at a distance. The tent of meeting is here referring to the tent which also includes the Mishkan. So there's the temple that was the portable temple that they carried around with them in the wilderness, which was part of the greater tent of meeting, which resided at the very center of the entire encampment. So we read a list of each tribe's encampment, which specifies for every single tribe both where they are, north, south, east, west, in relation to the Mishkan, which is in the center, as well as the divisions and the banners according to tribe. So this is all very military precision type stuff, right? It's about keeping people organized. It's about laying out a plan for the encampments, so hopefully people won't get into arguments about where they're supposed to set up their tents after the end of a long march. But there are other ways for us to read this in our portion beyond military precision, and beyond just the basics of keeping people organized. For example, the Midrash tells us, when we camped according to the banners, each one was standing on his rightful place at his root, and he knew his place. In the same way, the names of the princes of each tribe reflect a uniqueness included in every member of the tribe. So everyone knows their place. Everyone knows their root, their essence, who they are, and those essences are unique. They're unique to each individual person. And yet, they're also in groups. So, in other words, this description of the banners and the encampments reflects a need for balance between togetherness and uniqueness. In today's world, in our culture, we are constantly striving for balance between these concepts: togetherness versus uniqueness, universalist acceptance versus tribal identities. We are all human beings on this planet here together, but realistically, in order to function, we have to belong to groups that are smaller than 8 billion at a time. We have different countries, different governmental systems, different cultural distinctions, many, many differences. And even if everything were working perfectly and every single human being on this planet was trying to be a constructive member of a global society, I feel like we might still need some smaller groups and distinctions and divisions of identity beyond simply being human. Furthermore, there are advantages in diversity, numerous advantages, which I imagine that are familiar to all of you. Different perspectives can enrich our ideas, can lead to growth. Sameness can become stagnation. On the other hand, different perspectives will only lead to growth if they're all aligned in common purpose. If you have a working group and each member of that group is working toward a different goal, how much work is that group going to accomplish? Probably not a lot. So this is the teaching of our Torah portion this week. It's deceptively simple. Each tribe has its own leader and its own banner, its own place in the camp. Each individual member of each tribe is unique and counts in their own way. A mark of leadership, according to the Midrash again, is knowing how to deploy every member of your tribe in a way that's exactly right for them, every person according to their unique gifts and perspective. And yet, all the tribes are organized in a common pattern as one people with one center, the Mishkan. It's easy, right? Every person has their place. So simple. In our story, God helps to define those places and those leaders. But what do we have? What do we have today that helps us know what is our place? How should we be deployed? Who are the people that will be our best leaders? How do we know that? If you know, tell me. In our story, the central beating heart of the Jewish people in that encampment was God and the temple to God and the Mishkan. What's the central beating heart of the Jewish people today? I think, as the old adage goes, if you ask, 3 Jewish people, you get 5 different answers. Beyond that, what are other groups that we might belong to outside the Jewish people, which call to us, which express some part of our identity, which carry some portion of our purpose? What other banners do we carry? Pride Month is coming up in June. So when I think of what banners, right, this is one thing that comes to me. The LGBTQIA+ community has a lot of different flags. There's a flag for each of those letters and more. And people have designed those flags to show solidarity with all these different little subgroups and divisions. And for some people, those flags are really meaningful, and they become visual signals of personal identity. Other things that we see with banners and flags might be countries. Every country has its flag, has its banner. In America, as you can see behind me, every state also has a flag. Since part of the design of our country is that each state operates in its own unique way, but with the dream of America as the United States at the center. So in America today, what is our center? What is the lodestone that guides our plans and our actions and our choices? What are our goals as a country? These are questions that we first have to answer for ourselves as individuals in order to elect leaders which reflect our goals for our country. But beyond that, what is the heart of America that all of us can stand behind and agree about? If we disagree on the specifics and we utilize elections and other forms of governments to determine how to move forward among disputed options, that's all great. That's part of the design, right? But what is something we can look at and say, yes, we are all Americans, we're all working for the strongest, best version of America that we can make? And circling back, the same question, what is the heart of the Jewish people? Something we can look at and say, yes, despite our differences, this is one family. And I've asked all these super easy questions, and I haven't answered them at all, because I can't. I think each of us has our own answer. And I think the Torah itself cannot answer these questions for us, because it's our obligation in every age to ask these questions of ourselves and to find our answers. So I hope that this Shabbat, we will take time to consider these questions, to consider our identities, which I only give a few possible examples of, to consider our differences and our commonalities. I hope that our questions are fruitful. Amen. And Shabbat Shalom. We return now to our Sidurim on page 278. Oh my gosh, that's a big page flip. We're coming to the end of our Omer count. If you've been keeping track like I have, I'm on the very last page of my homemade Omer counter. Let's begin with the declaration of readiness at the top of the page 278. I am ready. Let's read it together. I am ready to fulfill the mitzvah of counting the Omer. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sefirat haomer Our praise to you, Adonai, sovereign of all, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to count the Omer. Hayom shmona va'arba'im yom, shehem shisha shavuot v'shisha yamim la'omer, which means today is the 48th day, which is 6 weeks and 6 days of the Omer. Shavuot is on the 50th day, so we're very, very close. Only a few more days to Shavuot, which is on Sunday night. We're having a service. We'll talk about it in the announcements. Okay. At this time, we turn to page 282. Page 282 in the middle of the page, and we continue after that on page 287, but we begin in the middle of page 282. And as I invite Lee to join me in opening the ark, I ask everyone to please rise for Aleinu. Aleinu leshabeach la'adon ha'kol, la'teit gedula le'otzer bereshit, shelo You may be seated. We come now in our service to the Mourner's Kaddish on page 294. We remember those who have come before us. Here at Beth Ahabah, we're thinking of the recent passing of Harold Ornoff. And we're also thinking this week of the yard sites, the anniversary of passing of Mrs. Sadie Berlin, Stanley Saul Brager, Alan Carlton, Margie Cohn, Sam Cohen, Ulrich Kahn, Barry Comas, Claire Decker, Mary Denty, Estira Dobrina, Rose Faingold, Abraham Gutkin, Lucy Held, Anne Heyman, Ella A. Hirschberg, Dorothy Donna Eisenberg, Leonard A. Jaffe, Jessica Joseph, Sadie Marcuse Kirsch, Meyer Kirsch, Sidney Kirschner, Leroy Kuttner, Evelyn Markowitz, Sylvia Meisenberg Zeisel, Annie Nelson, Edith Phipps, Martin Pierce, Rebecca Plotkin, James Rubin, Maury Rorlick, Joseph Louis Rosenbaum, Betty Rudlin, Irene Jacobs Schloss, Elaine Schwager, Lorraine Center Burson, Jacob Sirota, Jonah M. Slippo, Leona Small, Norman Sporn, David Sporn, William B. Thalheimer Jr., Hannah A. Tischler, David Wallerstein, James Weinberg, Bernie Weiss, Frank Williams, and Isidore Wolitzer. I ask those of you that are here in the congregation and anyone watching on YouTube to take a moment and think about who you're remembering. And if there's anyone who is in a period of mourning or observing a yard site, or there's simply someone you wish to remember this Shabbat, Please share those names aloud or hold them in your hearts as I scan the room. We think of all these people and all the people who have no one to say Kaddish for them as we turn to page 294, and I ask those observing Shiva, the 7 days of mourning following death, to please rise. I ask those observing a yahrzeit, the anniversary of passing, to please rise. And as is our custom at Beth Ahabah, I invite the entire congregation, the entire community to rise in support of one another as we turn together to the mourner's Kaddish. Yit gadal v'yit kadash shemei rabbah, v'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mavarach li'alam u'lalmei olmaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal shemei d'kudesha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran v'yoma v'imru, amen. Yehei shalama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Yehi zichronam livracha, may their memories be a blessing. Amen. Please be seated. I invite now to the podium immediate past president of our congregation, which I'm told is an enviable position, Lee Katz, for a few greetings and announcements.
Yes. Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
And welcome to our beautiful sanctuary. And for those that are watching on YouTube, as always, thank you to the cantor and the time for a lovely service. Just a handful of announcements tonight. So tomorrow, Saturday, May 31st, the Brotherhood will be hosting a baseball outing. The Flying Squirrels versus the Harrisburg Senators at 6:05 p.m., followed by fireworks. The deadline was yesterday to register for the Brotherhood ticket price, so have fun, everyone. Go nuts. There's still time to sign up for this Sunday, June 1st dinner and First Friday style activities following our Shavuot service with Torah reading, plus dedication of our beautiful new Bima furniture. This night is different, but the format is the same. Services followed by dinner, supervised kids activities, the signature cocktail and mocktail, so please register for this Sunday night. Religious school and Torah study are on summer holiday, but religious school registration is open for next year, so please register. Music lovers, mark your calendars for Thursday, June 5th. The cantor and the time will present Food, Glorious Food, a concert featuring food-themed, mostly Broadway songs, desserts at 6:30, concert at 7, and it'll be yummy.
It will.
As always, join us next Friday and every Friday, same bad time, same bad channel for Shabbat services. Saturday, June 7th at 9 a.m. is our ever-popular Tot Shabbat for 5 and under and those who drive them around. At 12:30 p.m., Talmud Lunch and Learn for Talmud scholars of all ages, no experience necessary. And then just a couple events coming up. On Wednesday, June 11th, the women of Beth Ahabah are meeting for dinner and drinks at Chewy's Tex-Mex restaurant. RSVP to Merrill. More information is in the e-news. And then mark your calendars for our 2 summer cookouts, which will follow Friday night Shabbat services on July 11th and August 8th. As always, for more information on these upcoming events, check at the back of your Shabbat programs, the e-news, and our website calendar. Again, Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Lee. Shabbat Shalom. If there's any children present who would like some chocolate and a blessing, I invite them, of any age, I invite them to come up to the Bima. Yeah, that's right. For our blessing, family blessing time. Yay. Yisimech Elohim Kesara, Rivka, Rachel, Veleah. Yisimcha Elohim Kephraim, V'chi Menashe. May you be like Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, and Ephraim and Manasseh, all of whom led forth our people with strength. And we say, Amen. And a blessing for all of us. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka, Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May we be blessed with health and strength this week, and may we be blessed with peace. And let us say, Amen. And now the Hamotzi. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Would you like some bread or chocolate? No, not the bread. Bloop. Here we go. This is a really small piece of bread. That was for me.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, Rabbi would be so proud.
And as Lee brings the bread and the chocolate around to everybody, do you want to take some? Yeah.
I'll take the chocolate.
Okay, yes, thank you.
Divide and conquer, right? Thank you. As Lee and Laura bring the challah and chocolate to everybody, I invite us all to turn in our prayer books to page 13 for our closing song. Page 13. Ya'aloz Zadai. It begins 4 lines from the bottom. The fields and everything in them will exult. It's from the Psalms. Ya'aloz Zadai, v'chol asher bo ya'aloz Zadai. Ay, 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 ay. Ya'aloz Zadai, v'chol asher bo ya'aloz Zadai. Ay, 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 ay. Az yiranenu kol atzeyor, az yiranenu kol atzeyor, az yiranenu kol atzeyor, az yiranenu kol atzeyor. Ya'aloz Zadai, v'chol asher bo ya'aloz Zadai. Ay, 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 ay. Ya'aloz Zadai, v'chol asher bo ya'aloz Zadai. Ay, 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 ay. Az yiranenu kol atzeyor, az yiranenu kol atzeyor, az yiranenu kol atzeyor, az yiranenu kol atzeyor. Ya'aloz Zadai, v'chol asher bo ya'aloz Zadai. Ay, 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 ay. Ya'aloz Zadai, v'chol asher bo ya'aloz Zadai. Ay, 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 ay. Shabbat shalom, everyone. If it's raining outside, don't rush away. We've got a little extra chocolate for you. Otherwise, see you next time. Shabbat shalom.